Hey, welcome to Let Them Talk. I'm Paul DeRienzo.
And I'm Miss Joan Moossy.
And our guest is Dana Beal, who's here to talk to us about this Saturday's May 5th, 2007 annual worldwide global marijuana march from Washington Square Park to Tompkins Square Park in the East Village. And
welcome,
in 232 other cities around the world.
232 other cities, making a total of
233 today.
Wow, around the
world.
Two
more since, 24 hours ago.
So welcome, Dana. Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Thank you for coming, Dana. And, it's always interesting when we have you on. And maybe we should start by telling folks about what's happening this Saturday, and then we'll go into a little bit about why it's happening.
Well, as you can see on our background here, we have the Garibaldi statue, which is prominently featured immediately above to the east of the little space where we're going to start out with a rally in Washington Square Park. And this is historic for two reasons. One, we're back in Washington Square Park for the first time in 10 years.
Right. You've been
kicked out by Rudy Giuliani, but we were very persistent, and we got back in there. Basically, the other people were against us died.
Oh dear.
And also
that marijuana's bad for you, Dana.
Yeah. He was very old. I don't want to talk about who it was. It was one holdout guy, I think. But also Giuliani is no longer mayor, and under Giuliani, they used to arrest several hundred people. You could get arrested literally for standing next to somebody smoking a joint. And since Bloomberg got in after the first year or two, it's been like, instead of 200 people, 2 people.
Some people say that he partakes.
Well, he said it. He said, damn right, I smoked it. I liked it a lot. But then I realized I couldn't get, really rich if I was high all the time. I beg to differ. We've done some great things while being high all the time. But the really other historic thing about this, Paul, is this. I was trying to do this back in ACT UP days. We created a coalition of different groups that are against different aspects of the drug war. We have 6 city-funded AIDS agencies running tables, with clean needles, condoms.
This will be in Tompkins Square Park.
No. Washington Square Park. Washington Square Park is the harm reduction kickoff, right? And there are going to be people speaking about that. There's going to be people from the Ibogaine Underground and tables full of condoms. And Ed Rosenthal of medical marijuana fame will be there. Randy Credico will be there from the William Kunstler Fund.
Right. And we have the Ed Rosenthal poster.
Well, that's a little later. That's the party at night.
That's the party.
The party at night.
This is the Global Marijuana March.
Right. The great thing is that we have 2.5 hours in Washington Square Park. And, of course, we've been having to get together on a corner on Broadway and Houston, and hard to find, hard to marshal our people.
Yeah. And then march downtown.
So much better, and we have an extra half an hour for people to show up before the march begins at 1:30, right? Okay. So basically we'll have music and people talking for the first 2 hours, and then we'll have a half an hour. We'll be setting up the different contingents.
So everybody should turn out at 11.
Right, yeah. There's an important point now. The cops kind of sliced off a bit of our route. We were supposed to go west to 6th Avenue up to 8th Street and come back across 8th Street to St. Mark's. They're making us go up 5th Avenue, but that's all right. There'll be some great shots of people with their banner standing in front of the Washington Arch, and it'll be a big photo op.
Right. And then you're gonna go straight down St. Mark's Place.
We're gonna go straight east on 8th Street to St. Mark's to Tompkins Park, where we have another great show. Basically, this is a lot more hemp-oriented, medical marijuana-oriented. There are going to be some people speaking on the Rockefeller drug laws. This guy, Ernie, what's his name? Ernie Piccarelli or something. He's a very important activist in the hip-hop scene. We have Immortal Technique, which is a really big name this year. And, Ed Rosenthal, of course, will speak again. Brother Eitan.
Eitan's been a guest on this show
twice. He's got some other people on tap. We may have Charles Barron coming to talk about the Rockefeller drug laws. So, it's going to be a great day, and it's going to be topped off. Put that up.
Yeah.
See it?
All right.
That's Ed Rosenthal done up as a superhero, Captain Ed, Marijuana Man, defender of marijuana rights everywhere, as you know, being retried by a vindictive Bush administration in Oakland, California, for being legally appointed the chief government official in Oakland to run this program. And basically, he was already virtually acquitted the first time. They could only put him in jail for a day. They re-indicted him and added charges, which the judge threw out because he said it was a vindictive. I think they hit him with a money laundering charge for buying a couple of money orders. And he's being retried on the same charges. The most he can get is a day in jail. But they're trying to establish the principle that, the marijuana law still stands against suffering people like that granny. That was
in the Bronx.
Granny was arrested, having to go out in the street. See, what we want to do is we want to go out in the street to protest, so the granny doesn't have to go out in the street and buy it. Granny should be able to go to a dispensary, some kind of like a protected, but you should really be able to get it in a
or grow it on her windowsill.
Well, yeah, but the problem is the kids steal it off the windowsill. So, this is one of the problems with the bill. By the way, was just reported out of committee, right? And the bill is well intentioned, but we think it falls short of what it's needed because number one, you can't set up a dispensary. So where's the granny going to get it? She can grow her own.
Right.
I don't think they're
Who's promoting this bill now?
Well, it's a marijuana policy project, and it's Dick Godfrey.
Dick Godfrey did.
And they feel that any kind of symbolic medical marijuana bill will be a victory. And in a sense, it will be. But then when you get down to examining the details, it's like they got medical marijuana in Maine, but chief medical marijuana guy there, Don Christian, is on trial for trying to take care of patients. So there's
doesn't make it. You still have to fight it even after the law's passed.
Yeah, and see the other thing
people
about
are so used to arresting people.
No, it's not only that. Right now, under federal guidelines, you can't be arrested for less than 500 pounds.
Want to take a call? By the way,
just let me finish this. Sure. We'll take a call. Under federal guidelines, you can't be arrested for less than 500 pounds. But the feds will shut down any grow up because it's a 5-year felony. Right? So what does the bill do? It protects grow-ups, which the feds will get rid of, while not protecting dispensaries, which would be the one things the feds might kind of like let be. So the bill has
written
the bill that was watered down to try to get Republican votes. And the Republicans, I talked to these guys, they're so worried about a little bit of pot getting out. The pot is in the street. The problem is the granny has to go into the street to buy the pot and gets arrested. Let's take the call.
She said she had to go to the sidewalk chemist.
Yes.
Sidewalk chemist. Hi, you're on.
Hello?
Let them talk.
Hello?
Hello?
Try again.
Oops.
No.
Are you there? Try the other
Yeah,
one.
got another one coming in?
Yeah.
All right, try us again. 212-757-1538. Our guest is Dana Beal. This is Let Them Talk. And we're talking about the marijuana rally that's scheduled for this Saturday, beginning in the morning in Washington Square Park.
11 o'clock.
At 11 o'clock in the morning and heading east to Tompkins Square Park for a whole day of activities there. And we'll give it another shot. You're on.
Hello?
Yeah, Lou.
Maybe it's not working. Well, look, I'm going to, meanwhile...
Sorry about that.
I'm going to, meanwhile, I'll bring up a little something. I mentioned the Ibogaine Underground is going to be there. And they've been, taking care of a number of addicts, addicted people, principally people addicted to opiates. And they're going to be there with people with personal tales of how they were able to get off of heroin and so on with Ibogaine. And this is our other, poster child, like medical marijuana. Ibogaine is an illegal Schedule I drug. They say it has no medical utility, but they didn't bother to check before they made it illegal. They made it illegal during the LSD hysteria, long before Howard Lotsoff's invention was ever publicized to the world. So the problem is we have extremely inflexible laws, and they don't make allowance for development of science. And I wanted to show you this people out here, this wonderful.
Let's bring it up.
We got to go
This is the wonderful. This is the wonderful thing we are presenting a week later at the second, annual harm reduction conference in Warsaw, Poland. And it's a poster that shows in steps the plant, the molecule, and the next, going the other direction, Paul. It shows the case studies that show it works on heroin, and then the next one shows the 80% were abstinent for 2 months or longer after just one dose. And if you go down, no, the other side. This is shows the areas of the brain where the dopamine neurons are lost. Next one shows a lot of dopamine when the rats have sex, because this is a fun neurotransmitter. And next one over, no, that way, yeah. That shows what happens when you give the rat a little reward. It gets a nice dopamine spike. And then in the next one, you see you pair the reward with a stimulus, and the spike comes earlier and takes the form of craving or compulsion. Dopamine is what makes you pace the floor. You want to quit cigarettes, but you can't, and your body is telling you go buy more cigarettes.
Oh dear.
And
so
so yes, very difficult. So this shows the receptor and the neuron that's squirting out the dopamine, and it shows that basically cocaine, amphetamine, and methylphenidate, which are Ritalin, all kind of work the same. They give Ritalin to kids too. That's really weird. And this is some stuff that shows how you get tremendous. Go over here, the last one. When they gave this synthetic Ibogaine to people or I guess they gave it to animals for their nicotine addiction, the second day practically dropped to nothing. They did no nicotine. So this thing, they found this synthetic. It's like more effective for getting people off cigarettes than any known cure for cigarettes. I've put Nicorette out of business. And Paul, kind of go down to the middle here. Right there. Those are the two key things.
Those things.
Yeah, you see the blue, right. You see, this shows what happens when you flood the system with amphetamine. The nerves basically wither away. They kind of die off. And the next slide, the black and white one.
It's so hard to fit.
Because there's a light right
No,
there.
but don't.
In case everybody's wondering.
Right there,
why.
right there.
There it is.
Yeah, that one there.
You can see it.
Basically, it shows that with this one growth factor called GDNF, which is caused by Ibogaine, the little cells start to grow back right away. So we can repair the damage of hard drugs by switching on a growth factor in the brain that will bring you back to a state of healthy well-being, and it's called homeostasis, a perfect being, right? Anyway, you guys can come down to 9 Bleecker Street. This will be in the window when we're having the Ed Rosenthal party. And you can find out all kinds of neat science. I wanted to show somebody.
Here's the party, of course.
Yeah, show me. Look here.
Wait, Dana wants to.
I want to.
The paper that's behind it.
Yeah, right. This is the Lancet article. Bring the Lancet article.
Oh, here
this is the Lancet article.
What's the Lancet? Tell
It shows people that marijuana is dead last in terms of harms of drugs, and that the drug laws are totally irrational. It's everything, tobacco, alcohol, speed, heroin, they're all worse for you than marijuana.
The development of a rational scale to assess
and
drugs of potential.
They consulted law enforcement people on this one, folks. This is a very good paper, and this is what we're putting out.
What is the Lancet? Tell people what they
The Lancet is equivalent of the New England Journal of Medicine.
It's a medical journal.
Except for it's English.
It's British. British.
So they don't.
Medical journal.
They don't have some of the American crazy ideology.
Well, I assume there's a problem with our telephone. I don't know why.
No, because we keep trying to take a call.
Try to take calls. Can't.
Try to keep calling. See if it works.
Try. We'll keep trying. But anyway, Dan, let's talk more about. Let's remind people why we're here. It's this Saturday. What's happening this Saturday?
Give all the details.
And let's give the details again. Yes.
The marijuana march.
Well, first I'll take 2 minutes just to talk about what's happening around the world. Okay,
because it is a global marijuana
finish
march.
up with New York City. Maybe we'll pick up a few more listeners and catch them all.
Yeah, tell us about other places where the march is taking place.
Well, it's very big in Toronto. It's huge in Rome. They had 50,000 people in Rome last year. It's big in Madrid. It's big in Lisbon. It's
and how many cities do you have?
In Jerusalem.
How many cities
Cape
are
Town,
there?
Johannesburg, Nimbin, Australia, and Darwin, Australia. Auckland, Wellington, Dunedin, and Christchurch in New Zealand. In Europe, we have virtually every capital in Europe. We have Athens, Sofia, we have Kiev and Moscow. We have Warsaw. I'm speaking at the one in Warsaw, which is a week later. I'm getting 2 birds with 1 stone by going over to to Warsaw to do the harm reduction plan.
Well, tell us how many there are total.
Total of 233 cities.
Wow.
We're all over Latin America, Lima, Santiago, Sao Paulo, Rio, Buenos Aires.
I see Stockholm.
Caracas and Cali, two ideological opposed countries.
One's in Colombia and the other one's in
And
Venezuela.
of course, Colombia's got the right-wing guess-wise, and Caracas is a bit left-wing. But you know, we span not only span the globe, we span ideological divides. We have potheads in every political bloc, and we're all working for peace and love and understanding. And Saturday, we're having something really new. For the first time, we're having a float in the parade.
Oh, that's wonderful.
The Cinco de Mayo float. The Cinco de Mayo float.
What's the float?
Well, it's the Cinco de Mayo float, and it's celebrating our ties to Mexico.
Oh,
and we're calling for two things. One is free trade Mexican marijuana. Those Mexican producers, if they were getting every buck for their grass, they wouldn't need to move here. NAFTA destroyed agriculture in Mexico and impoverished these people, and that's why we have all these people trying to move to the United States to get a job at Walmart or something. So if we would just let them, it would be like, in California, the grapes from every valley taste a little different, see? In Mexico, the marijuana from every valley tastes a little different, right? And they would have a certain kind of marijuana from Michoacan.
Right.
And there would be some from Guerrero, Gold, right? And so on and so forth. The other big point we want to make is that we believe that it's not right to have this coercive, draconian Bush, Gingrich, Republican, evil antagonism towards our brothers and sisters in Mexico and Canada. And we should have not only a NAFTA, we should have what they have in Europe, which is you can go to another country and get a job. And so we're asking at least for Mexicans to have the right of return to those states they were expelled from in 1848. California.
Right of return?
Right of return, California, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, Texas, and Louisiana, I guess, was part of Mexico for a while. So they should all be able to move here, all of them. I think the country will revive the economy. These people work hard. Americans are soft and lazy. And, we might have to, turn a few Mexican mafiosos back, but if they're ill-behaved, they obviously would get tossed.
Right, that's what happened to the Russian mafia, the Italian mafia, all different mafias.
If they are good, and then after the 6 years of living, in the old Southwest, maybe we could let them move into the Louisiana Purchase. Let them move to Minneapolis. If they're good for 14 years, they could move to Massachusetts. So, so we're for a more cooperative attitude with the Mexicans. We think that the Republicans obviously have their heads up somewhere in the posterior region, and it's a big problem with the Republicans running the country.
So this is your immigration policy.
This is our immigration policy and also our fair trade marijuana policy, and we're bringing this out in Cinco de Mayo.
Further north.
Yeah, right. And created bizonal area, the bizone we call it. And we get down there and buy some pot. Anyway, the people are going to be gathering once again, since I see that our time is now.
We got a few minutes.
We're doing well. I'm so sorry about the phones because we know we're getting calls, but for some reason that we're just having trouble getting
the Howard Stern cranks. Damn.
Oh darn! Let's take the information. Well, let's take the time and give the information because these events are happening all over the world. What impact
if you're listening on the internet?
What impact do you think this event? Why have you taken the route? I mean, when the smoke-ins, they were first smoke-ins, right? And they were young people, youth culture phenomenon. Kids from the street, mixing kids from middle-class backgrounds, and they were in the face of the police smoking marijuana. Then over the years, we saw it change to more of a Cures Not Wars, medical marijuana, and now a worldwide event. I mean, is the marijuana movement maturing too much? Is it really getting a little too far from its youth culture roots?
No, I don't think so. I think we have to account for people like the 71-year-old granny. People of all ages need this stuff. For health purposes, or simply because, doing a lot of tobacco and alcohol is really a bad idea, and there has to be some kind of alternative when you want to unwind.
What about
we don't want everybody on, chemical tranquilizers and stuff. That only makes psychiatrists rich.
Or even beer.
There's so many
But not everybody.
Not too much beer.
There's still a lot of dichotomies between, the hemp movement and the marijuana movement, and the between High Times and Heads, between Ed Rosenthal and Grow America, and will the marijuana movement ever really be able to unify in a way that supplants all the egos and the hidden agendas that are out there to actually
one of the things
have an impact?
One of the things we do is we do create, when every people are doing it, you see, say you're in Ogden, and you got 300 people, but the local news says this is an event happening in 240 other cities around the world,
right?
Which gives it a lot more impact. The other thing is, we don't tell these people what to do. We have a model here, it contains Ibogaine, but we don't tell all the other groups they've got to march in lockstep, some kind of a Leninist or Stalinist idea that everybody has to have exactly the same program. We let them talk. We let them do their own thing.
Right.
They each organize their own events.
Yes. They're organizing their own events and coming up with their own strategy. And so we kind of get away from a lot of those conflicts because there's enough space in between these different cities that they can communicate horizontally through the internet, and they don't need a federal committee somewhere telling them what to do and trying to control the information.
So we got to the point where the traditional institutions, the High Times magazines, are they really necessary? Canada's culture, even, is that really necessary nowadays with the internet and all these things? Is it really
Well, I'll tell you, we've been getting these ads in High Times, and it's really kicked up the attendance, the number of cities, perhaps. We got at least 60 more cities this year because of that.
And people enjoy those magazines.
And, we have other groups like ENCODE, which is kind of like a cross between NORML and the Drug Policy Alliance. I don't know whether people know what the Drug Policy Alliance is, but most people know what NORML is. They're pushing this in Europe, along with Norwegian NORML has the Global Marijuana website.
So it's not just about the modern technologies, about the internet and all these things.
But the thing is,
it's about worldwide cooperation.
It takes a lot of different ways to promote the word, right? It takes a lot of different arrangements and different media. And all the media contributes something. So we think that, when the day dawns bright and early Saturday, we'll already have in the inbox of the mail down there a lot of reports from other cities that'll help to, certainly raise our spirits and get us going that morning.
Inspire people.
It'll inspire people. We'll be able to bring reports on what's already happened to Washington Square Park when we start at 11 a.m.
What about the weather? Have you looked
The weather is supposed to be beautiful.
Oh, great.
We've got some of the best weather we've had in years.
Now, do you want people to bring signs, bring themselves,
yes,
dress up?
They should bring signs, and if possible, you should come in a contingent with a banner. And then we're going to use the sidewalks, internal sidewalks inside of Washington Square to kind of set people up in separate contingents so that, it's not like it was on Houston Street where you're trying to get 3 people to hold a banner and they don't even know each other and it's all crushed together. We're going to have an actual half an hour there to get things organized to march. And
have the space.
You'll march up 2 blocks up 5th Avenue, and there will be the float. The Cinco de Mayo float. Right?
What's the float? Describe the float.
Tell us about that.
We were trying to have a giant statue of Pancho Villa holding a spliff, but that was a little elaborate. And so now we're just going to have some, Mexican punk music and some various versions of La Cucaracha.
Now, what is
La Cucaracha was the theme song of Pancho Villa's band.
Yes.
It's about people riding, to fight for the revolution on a train, and they're riding on the train, and they're rocking along, and they're smoking marijuana.
Right.
And it's the only thing that makes it bearable to get through this rotten Civil War.
Right. It's terrible.
Now, is the float on a car, or is it on the back of a truck, or is it being pulled like a trailer?
It's a trailer that's being pulled by a pickup truck.
Okay.
And it's got these beautiful banners. All the banners, by the way, are done by Gilbert. Baker,
Wonderful
the man who made
artist.
the mile-long gay flag in
That's right,
1995.
and who has appeared on Let Them Talk as a guest,
yes.
a wonderful
and he's
guest.
done a bunch of beautiful new Cures Not Wars banners. This is the Cures Not Wars parade, Stop the Drug War parade. And, you know, we've, for 10 years almost, been calling for Stop All Cannabis Arrests. We changed that this year to Stop the Drug War because we're trying to get the participation of these other groups. And, you know, the people doing AIDS education and harm reduction don't really need their people being arrested on the way to the needle exchange. You know, and
let's talk about that.
It makes it so that, you know, you can't get medical services to these people.
In the past, Dan, it's, you know, you've had, I think several years ago, 350 people were arrested. What guarantee do you have that kind of thing?
I think it was about 315, but you see that as a day. It was a lot.
Yeah.
All I can say is things have changed since Giuliani. The funny thing is that it was Giuliani who led to us going worldwide. Right? So it completely backfired.
He forced you to have to go worldwide.
He forced us to have to go worldwide because then we could say, well, they're letting it happen in London. Are you saying that we have less freedom in the United States than they do under the Queen of England? Isn't that why we had an American Revolution?
Now, do you have a website where people can get information?
Yes.
Okay, tell us that.
worldwidemarijuanamarch.org. That is worldwidemarijuanamarch.org, all one word.
Right.
Or you can go to newyorkcity.worldwidemarijuanamarch.org.
Right.
And me and Paul update that thing daily.
It's pretty updated to the most recent cities.
I sent you a few more cities this afternoon.
So folks out there can find out what's happening in their city.
And you often now we have this is better than the global marijuana website in Norway. We have event details for every city. It's the last thing, you know, and at least it tells you where to go and what time, right?
Okay. And so, Dana, let's start again. We got a minute now. 11:30 in the morning. Garibaldi statue.
No, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, 11 o'clock.
Not 11.
And the rally is from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock.
Extra half hour.
And then you get a half hour of time where it's called time to marshal. Marshaling time, organizing time. To get and of course, people are still coming.
Sure, and to get all the participants in the right order.
At the Garibaldi statue, Washington Square Park. And then the march expects to be at Tompkins Square Park about 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
2 o'clock at Tompkins Square Park.
But with that great photo op in front of the
Washington Arch.
Around 135.
Fifth Avenue.
135. And then we're going to get over there, and we're going to have a great show and a number of speakers, a regular teach-in on the issues in Tompkins Park from 2 to 4, 2 to 6.
If somebody wants to get in touch with you tonight, what's the number?
Tonight, call us at 212-677-7180. You can call there.
We got 5 seconds.
Taking your calls right now.
All right.
212-677-7180.
And we'll see you next week.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.